Start recording. Okay, so WordPress, WooCommerce is basically a WordPress plugin that integrates e-commerce functionality to your WordPress site. So let me close some of the tabs I have here. So let me just search for WooCommerce. Let's work our way back a bit. So there will be a bit of story, we'll do a bit of practicals, but let's see how it goes. So today's class, I'll be showing us how to set up WooCommerce, explain a bit of what we can do. Then in the next class, we'll go over customization. The next class should be on Friday. Yes, on Friday. So next class we'll go over customization, and yeah, basically that's it. So as you can see, build exactly the e-commerce site you want. It's open source, that means it's free. It has some other add-ons you can add, but those ones you have to pay for. So it helps you easily integrate PayPal, Paystack, any payment system, so it will accept payment on your site. It does quite a number of things for you, but on the surface level, it's basically integrating the e-commerce functionality to your WordPress site. So let's go over to installing our WooCommerce plugin. So we'll go back to plugins, add new. So usually WooCommerce used to be one of the top plugins, but I don't know how it's doing now. So, but let me just search for WooCommerce here. I think that's what I expect. Yep. So install. So please just take note. It's usually by automatic, so don't install any one that's not actually WooCommerce. So let's just put that in the back of our mind. It's installing. I don't know, it's taking a bit more time than usual. Let me check my speed. Network is pretty decent. Okay, so yeah, activate. Yeah, I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording. Yes. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, so once we click on activate, it brings us to this wizard page. It's usually called wizard or setup, whatever it is. Basically, just going to ask us for some information about the kind of store we are going to set up and help us to install or do some other back-end setup for us before we go into the main thing. So country region, I'm in Nigeria. I can actually be more specific and say Nigeria, Lagos, but I just want Nigeria. Sorry, Nigeria. There should be Nigeria. Okay, I think I have to select a state. That's me. So address, my house address 26. Should I be adding my address? Sorry. I'm already added it, so yeah. That's my house address. Please don't come around. I don't have much money. There's no cash. So I don't want to check on this. I don't want this at all. So let me just move on. Continue. Yeah, count me in. You can choose not to opt in. Also, there's another option to just skip, but I don't want to do that. It's always nice to go over this. So it's going to ask, okay, what kind of store are we trying to operate here? Fashion, beauty, food, home, education. So I'll just pick fashion. Should I choose fashion? Let me just pick order. It might say actually, okay, yeah, description, for the sake of time, let me do education and learning. So let's move on. Now, product types. This is where it's a bit more interesting. So let's assume I've created an e-commerce site whereby people just come there to download soft copies of files. So like I created one of my friend, he's a producer, he's in the US. So he just wanted to sell his beats. So that's where you can have downloadable products. So it's always good to, if you know you are going to possibly have things that you are going to download, which sometimes your clients would not inform you, but maybe later on you just need to know about it. So I just advise you to just check on download and physical product. But it's like WooCommerce too has a possibility of integrating subscription, membership, booking, bundles, and all this. But you see that you have to pay for all this. But I can show you. Remember, I have like this unlimited, a lifetime subscription for GPL plugin, so I can get all these things for free. But don't worry about that. Also, you don't necessarily have to check this now. In case you want to set that up later, it's pretty easy to do that. So I go over to continue. All right. So tell us about business. How many products do you intend? Or you can actually skip some of these steps. It's not necessary, but I always like to go by it. So I want to sell probably like 11 to 100 products. Are you currently selling elsewhere? You can just choose no. Maybe you're just starting up for it newly. So click on continue. Add recommended features. So it's always good to check these things and know what they're actually installing, because most of them are plugins. And as my personal mantra always goes, install as little plugins as possible. So Jetpack, it's quite a good plugin, but I don't want to do that for now. Also, I don't want to do this. I don't want this. I also don't want this. So interestingly, you can now integrate your TikTok page with your WooCommerce site, whereby let's assume you are selling stuff on your TikTok account. You can also sell it on WooCommerce, so you just redirect your users to WooCommerce. But I also don't want that, so I'll uncheck this and click on continue. And click on continue. So yeah, it's going to ask us to, maybe if you want to change the plugin that the theme we are using. I still want to use the current theme I'm using, so I'll just click on continue with my current active theme. There are some very nice themes that go well with WooCommerce. I think one of them is Flux. I think most of us have already used this on this call. Flux is very nice when you use it with WooCommerce, but as my mantra goes, also install as little things as possible. So I have stopped using Flux. I always like to build everything from scratch, but Flux is still a very great option. So a lot of setups to go on, which is add store detail, add products, add payments, tax. So I'll go over each and every one of these, but I don't want to use this interface anymore. So I'll just go and do it as if I don't use this interface, basically. So let's go back to products. Now, it's because we installed the WooCommerce plugin, we are seeing some of these options like WooCommerce, product, analytics, marketing. These four menus came in because we installed the WooCommerce plugin. So let's put that in the back of our mind. Now, also, you can see create product or import. So it's possible for, let's assume you are using, say, Wix or Shopify, or probably you had your own e-commerce site set up somewhere else. You can always import your products from that place to WordPress, so it's always possible. You might just need a plugin or a way to do it, but most times it accepts CSV files or Excel files to import your products, so it's pretty possible. But I want to just create a fresh product, so I click on create product. Okay, so the wizard still goes on. So I can cancel this because I want to go over everything by myself. So products name, let's assume our products name would say WordPress Masterclass. WordPress Masterclass. And we have a description for our WordPress Masterclass. So let me just use ChatGPT to generate something real quick. I always have this cooking. Okay, WordPress master class product description. Da, 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 ba, ba, ba. Sorry, this is not part of the class, so let me just copy this. So this is what I need basically. So I come back here and paste that in. Now this is another part. So we have to there are different options. So if you remember earlier, I was saying that you might have different types of products you want to set up for your clients. So usually use simple products. We'll probably go over variable products, group products, maybe later on in the class. But simple products. Now, this is another option. Is it going to be virtual or downloadable? So in the sense that you want users to download a product. So if I click on downloadable now, it's going to ask me to upload a file, and I have some other options to control how users interact with that file. So let's say you want users to be able to download that file once, and after they download it, they can't have access to that file. You can just set up all those kind of things, but we're not doing a downloadable product. Let's assume it's a physical product itself. So the regular price, and if you remember, because it's picking Naira, because when we were setting up the store, we set it up by default to be Naira. There are some plugins you can actually use that will make your site have different currencies based on the user's location. So that's possible, but that's a bit too high level for this class. So I'm just going to be going over the simple one. So we set up our price. Say my master class will most likely like 100,000 naira. You get what I mean? Now, sale price basically means, let's assume we're having a discount for a specific period of time. You know how companies can say when you buy within January to like Black Friday, for example. So we can actually say, okay, we'll reduce the price during Black Friday by, so let's say the price will be 80,000 naira. And we can have a schedule. So let's say we want this to happen at a specific period of time, say Black Friday, which is usually in November. Is it October or November? I think it's November. So from November 1st to November 30th, basically. So the price is only going to be 80,000 naira within that period of time. So it's not going to change apart from that. So go over to inventory. So inventory, think of inventory as your stock, like knowing the amount of inventory, or the amount of products you have in-house. So let's assume you have 10 products. You can also set that up. So limit purchase to one item, the SKU. Okay, they have changed this. Now the stock quantity. So let's say you have only 10. You can set that. Allow back orders. You might not want to do that. Back orders is also something a bit complicated. We can go over that later on. There are other settings you can go on. So what our advice is after this class, Daniel, we're talking about e-commerce. We're trying to set up WooCommerce plugin for WordPress. So maybe I'm recording the video so you can actually watch that after the class. Is that fine? Yeah, cool. So another thing I would advise is after this class, after you watch this video, try to tinker around with things. You try to figure out things on your own, because that's the best way you can actually understand these things very well. So shipping, now shipping is let's say you want to charge, because usually when you want to ship things from different countries, they're going to charge you per weight, the weight of the product. It's not like all these dispatch rider around here. But yeah, if you're charging per weight of the product, it's advisable to always set the weight of that particular product you're trying to sell. So when you are calculating the shipping price, you'll be able to easily calculate based on that weight, so you don't run at a loss on your business also. So that's pretty much possible. Linked products, maybe if you want to set it up in such a way that if a user has bought a specific product, it will be cheaper to buy this one. So that it's possible to also do that. So linked products, upsells, cross-sells, just think around with these things. Attributes. What attributes you can add is, let's say if it was a variable product, in the sense that let's say you are selling a shirt that has different sizes and different colors. This attribute will come in very handy, but since we're not doing that, that's why we're not seeing much options for that. So advanced purchase note, maybe you want users to get a particular note whenever they buy the product, you can do that. Enable reviews, for sometimes you might not want users to review some products, so you can also check that out. Get more options. These are just external plugins or add-ons you get for WooCommerce, so you don't have to worry about all that. Product short description. So I think what we copied here is the short description. So let's paste that here. The long description, let's get that back from ChatGPT. So this would be the long description. So let's just paste that here. So now on the right hand side here, we can set product image, which is like the featured image of the product. So let's assume, let me set product image here. I think we've uploaded some images here. Okay, so let's use this. This can be our product image. But let me use this. Yeah, let me use this. So set as product image. And after setting product image, you can, if you notice, when you go to some sites, you might see, say, one product, and the product has one picture. But you can now see other pictures of that site, especially like Jumia. I think I ordered something recently from Jumia. And okay, let me just open Jumia. Hopefully, Spectrum. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to just check my recent orders. Yeah, okay. So this is what I was trying to explain. Okay, so this is what I was trying to explain. So where you have an image here and you have other images down here, right? So these are like extra image, but the main image is the first one that shows up here. If the main image is the first one that shows up here, so that's the first one we set up here. Then all those other images, let's add them up here. So we have, let me just add these ones. I'm holding Control to select multiple images at the same time. So click on Add to Gallery. So all those images will show down here. Then we have categories. We can create a new category. Basically, the same way you create a post category. So let me say this is courses. Parent category. Basically, you might have subcategories. Think of them as that way. So let's say under courses, I have WordPress course. So courses will be the parent category. WordPress course will be a subcategory. So, but I don't want to do that. So I just say add new category and check mark that. You can add tags. I don't want to do any of that. Then simply click on publish. Okay, once that is published, you see a notification up here saying view product. So I want to open this in a new tab. Alright, so as you can see, we have our WordPress, like automatically it has done a bit of setup. I know the UI doesn't look that good, but we can always tweak that with Elementor, trust me. So as you can see, this is the first image, the featured image we uploaded, the other product images that were also uploaded. You can click to add to cart. So if I do add to cart, I think so WordPress course are added to cart, so view cart. So it goes out to view cart. This looks terrible also, but we'll tweak all this, don't worry. So proceed to checkout. You see, we didn't have to do any of this, we didn't have to create any of these pages. WooCommerce automatically creates these pages for us. So just put that in the back of your mind. So just installing that plugin does all these basic things in the back end for us. So let's assume we had coupon codes, we can add coupon codes, users will fill in their information and place an order. So let me just fill in some of my information and go over to place an order. So it's showing us here, if you notice, it's saying, sorry, it seems that there are no available payment methods for your state or for your state. Please consider requiring assistance to make alternative arrangements. So we'll fix now. The next part I want to go over is to payment setup. So let me just go back to this backend here and go over to when you hover over WooCommerce, you see settings. So I'm going over to settings. So in settings, we see different options. Remember all those things we're filling, which is address, the city, this country, all those things. You can come and modify all of that here. So you don't have to. That's why there's an option to skip that initial wizard we had when we installed the plugin. So we can even change our currency. Let's say we want to be accepting dollar instead of naira. Some of these options, it's based on preference, so you can tinker around with that. So products also there are options that you can tinker around with that. But what we're actually going over is to payments. Now by default, you can actually accept. You can do cash on delivery, which is an option. Just giving a user an option that when they are creating the order, they can always just pay on delivery, which is a very popular thing by now. Or you can install other plugins to accept payment. So we know of PayPal, we know of Flutterwave. I think there is CBAT or CBAT. That's the one that Netflix uses. There's Pay, there's PayPal. There's quite a number of them. So it depends on your preference and your situation. So yeah, OPay doesn't integrate with WordPress at the moment that I can tell, but you can actually build your own plugin to integrate with OPay. I think it's pretty much possible. I think it's pretty much possible to build your own plugins for OPay. You can actually discuss with the developers there. I think they might be open to receiving payments with OPay, but I don't see why, because yeah, it's possible to build plugins. I think I should have mentioned that you can build plugins for WordPress or Themes even though, but you might need to have some knowledge of PHP, which we're not covering that in because I personally don't even know PHP myself, so don't worry about that. So you see if you can see, we have options to install Paystack. For now, let me just turn on cash on delivery. So when users are trying to order on my site, they can actually choose cash on delivery as an option. Now the next thing I want to do is to install a plugin to accept payments for PayPal, right? So let me go over to plugins and go to admin as usual. Sorry, I clicked on product, not plugins. Admin. So let me just search for Paystack. Paystack is pretty popular, even Flutterwave too. So yeah, you see Paystack, WooCommerce Gateway, Paystack Forms, Paystack Forgive. There are quite a number of plugins for Paystack itself, but I think the one you should just take is this first one by Tubosu Ayila. I think Tubosu Ayila is one of the founders of Paystack, if I can remember clearly. But yeah, so just click on install now. All right, so let's click on activate. Please, I hope I'm not too fast or something. And if you have questions, you can always drop in them. Okay, that's installed. We can actually do some settings for it here. So let me just click on settings. It will most likely take us to WooCommerce back here. So if you notice, we're back in the WooCommerce section under payments. But let me show you how we have gone over it if we didn't click on settings through plugins place. So let me click back on payments. So you see the option for Paystack is showing here. So we just have to click on enable and click on finish setup. So let's click on just finish setup first. Now, if you want to enable Paystack to receive payments, we have to click on enable Paystack. Debit cards and credit cards, make payments using your debit card. All this is just text. So let's say if users want to pay, you can just say maybe change this to pay with Paystack. If you have other payment payment system integrated with your site, it's always advisable to find a way to differentiate it to users so they know the one they should pick. Make payments using your debit card, test mode. We'll leave this on test mode. We're supposed to add our test secret and test key here. Interesting. I have well, this should not work. I don't know. Okay. I now have a test secret and test key. So, but basically, when you create a Paystack account, maybe in the next class we'll go over that. Creating a Paystack account, getting your secret key and public key, and coming to insert that here. So basically, it's not actually that complicated. Once you do that, you can just check this option auto complete orders after payment. So once a user's payment has been approved, you just complete the order. Because sometimes if you don't complete the order, the user won't get a mail that the order has been completed. And I'm having issues at the back end with that. Remove cancel order and restore cart button. All these things are based on preference really. Save cards also based on preference. Additional Paystack gateway. So maybe if you want to have multiple gateways for your Paystack stuff. So you can also check this. This is also still based on preference, right? So you don't have to like ensure you click on that. So after doing all that, just click on save changes. So if we go back to this place where we are supposed to pay, let me refresh this. So if you see, we are already having one option, and the reason is because we have not inserted our Paystack key and secret, right? If not, we would have seen another option. So because this is the only option that is there, it's going to default to this. So users don't have to select this option. If we had more than one option, users will have to select either pay on delivery or pay with cash, any of those options, and click on place an order. Okay, it's asking us for a billing phone number. Place an order. So yeah, the order has been placed. And basically, when this order is placed, automatically the user gets a mail, you get a mail, mails fly around, back and forth. So you guys, that's basically the simple process of setting up your WooCommerce, plugin on your WordPress site. This is like the basic of the basic level. So don't think this is all. It can actually do a lot more. Actually, you can even use WooCommerce to do membership. So let's assume you have some sort of like your membership thing running for yourself. You can actually have like an ongoing subscription that you receive via this site. There are pretty much a lot of things you can actually do with this WooCommerce thing. So I just want to end the class here in case you have any questions, so we can also try this thing out on our own personal site, and shoot me if you have issues. Any other questions for tonight before we wrap up?